I'd rather do the sex scenes because the hockey scenes are my feet hurt and I cramp and I'm not that good, so I have to be very diligent with making sure I don't look like a phony. But with the sex scenes, we rehearsed them so heavily and we knew what we were going to do going in, that they're also a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a dance. Yeah, I totally agree with that. The hockey stuff is not easy. I mean, and yeah, it's hard to believe yourself as a like an NHL player, like the top of your craft. I mean, those people, they work their entire lives for that. So getting on those skates, being next to these guys who have been doing this for like 20 years, you're like I'm okay, It's very physically demanding. It's also kind of like being on the ice for so long is almost like nauseating. Like
Yeah.
with I don't know, just the lights, it's cold, it's so not easy.
You've seen Shane just really kind of putting his heart on his sleeve, but now we're starting to see Ilya kind of give in a little bit. But then on top of that, we're seeing Shane pull away. So can you tell me like that kind of emotional tug of war and how you guys brought that to the screen?
I think we just kind of know these characters really well, and then it's easy to kind of take that base and plug and play it. I always look at Ilya as his own thing, and then I think if I'm really solid on that, then it naturally will provide whatever needs to be happening in the plot and the story. And then we have someone like Jacob who knows the story like the back of his hand and is willing to be like, no, I think at this point we need a little more this, we need a little less that, up this, down that.
Knowing Shane, it felt like, of course he's running. This is almost like when you go to pick up like something you think is heavy and then it goes light. It's almost like that sort of
that jarring
moment
thing.
where it's like, oh my God, he is like, it looks like, boyfriends, it looks like a partner. And it hasn't up to this point, and that's sort of terrifying. And the first name, it's a lot of things that are just sort of scaring him in that moment, that it's hard just to take that.
Right. There's so many
face value.
There's so many new things that you can't kind of help but feel altered or different.
And I love the addition of Rose in this episode. What was it like bringing her into the fold? Because it's kind of like giving Travis and Taylor.
Right. Yeah, it said Travis. Yeah. I'm not too familiar with them, so I can't speak to that. But working with Sophie, it was fantastic. And the Rose character is also very interesting because, obviously Shane is in love with Ilya, but Rose does offer sort of like, I don't know, like her character in a way adds pressure to, who he's meant to be or what he thinks he should look like. But then again, she's a confidant and she's someone who's open and, accepting and makes him feel really safe. And up to that point, it was really only Ilya who could provide that. And it wasn't always, his emotions weren't always handled and handled with care. So it's
another
super
true
interesting.
connection.
Yes, another true connection.
And just being able to like step out in public and have like paparazzi take pictures of them. And
Yeah, I think that's the sort of tragic element for Shane, is because he's able to do this with someone who, he doesn't feel truthful that this person he's in love with in that same way. But it's being celebrated in a way that he feels they never would be.
Yeah. And I feel like anytime there's, a big queer project like this, it seems inevitable. People are going to be like speculating.
Of course, it's the nature of celebrity as well, too.
And just like accusing you of gay baiting or something. Yeah. So how does it feel having to separate your personal from the professional?
Yeah, I think there's never a question for me when I would dream of, becoming, in the public eye, that I would want just a level of privacy. But of course, I agree. I want, queer people telling queer stories. But also, also there's the element of Connor and I having, we're best friends and we love expressing that physically. And then, you see people who infer or assume and you kind of have to let that go. But then again, I never want to stop expressing the love I have for Connor physically. And I'm never really going to. And I think multiple things can be true at once. We want queer people telling queer stories. There's an element of also you can't ask that in an audition room. But I think what Jacob said really sums it up the best, which is like, you have to gauge how enthusiastic they are about this story. And they could have paid me $10 and just fed me. And I'm doing the story. I really thought I was going to get like nothing for this. And I just loved the story so much. And I want to be a part of that. And Connor as well. I'm sure feels the same. So I think that's the only thing you can gauge with a person.
Totally. Yeah, I think there's so much energy that is coming at us with the rise of this show, and for me at least, I think it's important for me to have a little bit of separation from the character in the show, and all I can really say is that I love Ilya. I love the community that, you know, this is a part of and that this caters to. I think that's so much more interesting and valuable than doing just another run-of-the-mill straight story. You know, who I date, who I sleep with, who this, that, whatever. Like, I'm gonna keep that to myself. But regardless, I think this is super important, and I think it's also, on top of that, is just really cool, you know.